So you just got back from San Francisco.
Yes,
How
I did.
did it go?
It was such a good trip. It was like a 4-day trip. And
Yeah, it felt longer than that.
Yeah.
I feel like on my end.
No, it was really good. I went to San Francisco because I booked a family session out there, and Ian's sister lives out there, so we always love going to the Bay Area to visit family, and
it's so different than Texas.
So different. The weather was gorgeous.
Oh my gosh, I bet.
We really looked out, and yeah, I think it was like really cold and rainy out in Texas while we were there.
Yes.
So it was really, really nice.
And just nice to get away.
Yeah.
For even if it's only like 4 days.
Yeah. Yes. I just love California.
Yeah. Well, how did your family session go? Tell us about that.
It went really well.
Because I feel like we never talk about like other sessions.
Right?
We talk a lot about weddings.
Yes.
So
it went really well. I photographed them in 2023 for the first time.
In San Francisco?
In San Francisco.
Okay.
So yeah, I went to their house. And they live across the street from this really beautiful park. In San Francisco, there's just beautiful parks everywhere. And so I hadn't seen them in like 3 years, and they had another baby. So they were like, we need to update our family photos.
Yep.
And it was just precious.
I love it.
Yeah, I really love seeing how toddlers like evolve kind of and like have their own personality. And so that was something that was a little difficult. Was the 3-year-old really was just not having anything to do with me or usually like I'm really good at talking to kids and kind of like manipulating them to do what I want them to do. But she wasn't having any of my tricks up my sleeve. So I was just like, okay, we're going to read.
What would you usually do like with things like that? Because you're more of like a documentary.
Mm-hmm.
Documentary. Why
Yes.
did I say it like that? That was weird. Anyways, documentary like photographer. So like, how do you deal with kids like that?
I usually let them just run the show. So
Yeah.
I like hate when parents are like, okay, sit here
and smile,
and I'll give you a cookie, or like,
Yeah.
you know, kind of like bribing them
It almost never works.
No, it doesn't work. They get upset. They start crying. Then everyone else gets stressed. And I'm like,
and then
guys,
there's no cookies around.
There's no cookies. So all the bribing is like for nothing. And I don't like lying to little kids.
Yeah.
So I usually am just like, I'll tell everyone to like be in a certain room, and however the light is hitting that room, that's how I'll kind of like be creative in that room. But if the toddler doesn't like want to sit on the bed, I'm like, okay, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Do you want to show me your room?
Yes.
Show me like, what are your favorite things to do? And she was really into reading, so we got her favorite books. And luckily, like, while normally if there's multiple kids and there's like a baby, I'll have one parent with the baby,
yes,
and then one parent with the toddler. So whoever is like being preoccupied, if I've got that, then I'll turn to the other people. So while she was reading with her dad, I was like, okay, mom, let's put the baby on the bed and like cuddle him and like whatever. So we spent half the session in their house, and then they have a really beautiful courtyard because they have like a condo, and their shared courtyard is really gorgeous in the springtime. So we went out there for some, and then we ended the session at the park across the street.
Okay.
So
amazing.
And they brought bubbles.
Yes.
And it was really cute.
I love it.
So.
That's so cute. How did they originally find you?
So
when you were
in 2023, I was marketing to San Francisco because I wanted to move there at the time. So like anytime I would go visit my sister-in-law, I would try and have a session. Either it was like a free session, or I was like, who do you know that has kids? Like, who can I take photos of? And through that, like, word just kind of spread. And so that's how I like built clients out there.
Okay. And did you book this one from that email, or was it they reached out to you?
They just reached out to me because their baby was getting to like the 6-month range, and that's kind of like when they like to take photos.
Perfect.
Yeah. So that's a good thing about family photography is like you have clients for a long time because every year they need something updated, or when they have more kids. So yeah, it's really nice. And if you treat them well and do a good job, they
come back.
They come back. It's kind of hard to find a new photographer. So
yes. Well, they already kind of trust you.
Right.
And like you said, it's hard to find like a new photographer because you're like, well, what if I don't like them? And it's just easier to go with someone that you already kind of trust.
Yes.
And you like their work. So
yes.
I love that.
And even like after the session, the mom had texted me like, oh my gosh, like my kids both just passed out. Like that was so amazing. You were so good with them. Aww. And like they had the best time and they're worn out now. And she loved the sneak peeks. So it's like
incredible.
Even when I feel like it's chaotic in my head, I'm like, I feel like
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes I feel like that even with weddings. It's like, it feels chaotic, but honestly, it's really not that bad. It's just we're juggling a lot in our mind, and it's just like the creativity. Are we being creative enough? Are we doing this right? Are we doing that? Yeah, it's just a lot.
Yeah.
But it always ends up fine.
And a lot of
we
it
just
is
overthink
like
everything.
Setting up the expectations, like because sometimes I'll go to a family session where like the mom is totally on board with how I shoot, but maybe the dad wasn't filled in. So the dad is like, hey, we need to sit here and smile.
Yeah.
Or like he's so stressed out about things not going smoothly. And so it's like your job as a photographer to set those expectations so that everyone's on the same page.
Feel comfortable. Yeah. I know. It is hard because it's also like family sessions, like you see other people's photos, you expect it to be like that. And
it's a whole nother world.
It's a whole different world. Yeah. People have like a set expectation. And even like when they were younger, like how they took photos, they probably remember just like sit there and smile.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be that way.
Yes.
So people have like certain expectations. So that just creates chaos in their head too. So they're in their head because their kids are like misbehaving or like being too chaotic. And you're like, oh my God, I just want one good picture. But that's the memories.
Yeah.
If they're chaotic, whatever.
I feel like my brand is very like, it's just documenting your life. So there's no pressure to be like everyone dressed up and perfect. And, so.
No, I love that.
It was fun.
Amazing.
It was a good San Francisco trip.
Ugh, I know.
I am tired though.
Oh, really? From traveling?
From traveling.
Yeah, I know. It's always just a lot to travel, especially like you're like going across.
It's 2 hours, like time difference. So it was a lot. Yeah,
but it was fun.
It was good.
I love it. Yeah, it looked really, really beautiful.
I'm excited for my film photos. I shot a whole roll of film. So.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, maybe we can post one. So that way everyone can see what it turned out to be. Because I'm excited to see what the courtyard looks like. Did y'all go to the park or no?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's going to be so cute. Yeah. How long was the session?
Like an hour and a half.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty
I can imagine it being almost like 2 hours because it's like indoors and then the courtyard and then like the park and kids being crazy.
Yeah, and it's like, especially if like they want to do an outfit change, then you have to like change. Yeah. Or like if the baby needs to be fed.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm so like flexible and relaxed. I'm like, I don't care what the clock is saying.
Yes. Yeah. Let's just get.
And you can kind of tell when they're over it. And they're like,
for sure. Yeah. You can definitely tell. You're like, okay, we're done. Yeah. We're good. We got what we needed.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Was the park, because I saw you post something on Instagram of you and Ian at the park. Was that the park that you were at?
No, that was a totally different park. That was
I feel like you could see the bridge in the background, and I was like, oh my God, that would be so pretty.
So there's this park called Tunnel Top Park, and it's on the Presidio, so like you can see the bay, the Golden Gate Bridge.
It's so pretty.
It's so pretty. And especially when it's sunny, and it was so sunny, which like never happens. So
yes.
There's like a bunch of food trucks up there.
Yeah.
So it's always like normally like when they take us to the airport, we stop there, get food, and then go to the airport.
Oh, okay.
It's really
that's
fun.
So fun.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous. It just like, I don't know, it just looked nice to be outside of the Dallas area.
Yes.
My sister was also out of town, so I was just feeling FOMO from both ends. I was like, oh, great. I'm stuck here. Oh my gosh. But anyways, you're in your networking era now.
Yes,
just
I'm trying.
Yeah, you invited me to go get coffee with someone, and I was like, oh my gosh, okay.
I know.
How did that come about?
I'm taking charge.
No, you really are. I was like, oh my gosh, yes, let's do this. It was fun.
Yeah. So my goal was to reach out to someone every week. So I need to reach out to someone this week.
Okay.
Because I reached out to Aisha last week.
Okay. To schedule something
this week. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Yay. Yeah. And that was so fun. It's just nice to get out. I was like, afterwards, I was like, that was amazing.
Yes. We just got coffee, but the sun is shining. It's springtime. Yeah. Everyone's feeling good.
And I feel like we barely talked about work.
No.
Or business or photography. It wasn't the main thing we focused on, which was nice. It was just kind of girls hanging out.
Yeah. Girl chats.
Yes, I loved it. So I'm like, okay, yeah. Especially with the weather changing, the sun being out longer, it just feels so nice. And I don't know, I just feel so vibrant almost.
You know what I thought about we should do is a photo walk at the Arboretum and invite some people and we could just hang out and take pictures of each other.
Yes, that would be fun. I know. I bet the Arboretum right now looks so good.
Yeah. The tulips are good.
Oh my gosh.
So I really want to go.
The tulips. Oh my gosh. No, I'm so down for that. I think I remember you doing that last year.
Yeah, I did last year with a friend and it was really fun. We just both shot a roll of film.
Yes.
And so.
Oh my gosh. No, for sure. We need to do that. That sounds really good. Especially, I just can't get over the weather.
I know. It feels so nice.
I know it's about to get really hot, but honestly, I don't care. I'm as long as the sun is out, I'll be okay.
Yeah, I like the heat versus
the cold and the wind and the storms. And I don't know, the Texas weather is so crazy. But anyways, yeah, it's been good. And then you're changing your marketing strategy a little, or you're just making it more, it feels like it's just more organized.
It's so organized. Okay. And I wanted to tell everyone.
Yes. Okay. Because I feel like we all need to hear it.
Yes. So I've been using Claude a lot.
Okay.
And I used Claude to basically build me out a marketing strategy for Instagram, but it's we know all this information.
Yes.
And sometimes it's hard to remember everything or to organize everything and to finally sit down and be this is what I'm doing and to execute it.
Yeah.
So I used Claude it basically built me a PDF that I can reference anytime that I need to post. And I kind of wanted to share the prompt that I used so that people could do it too, because it was very easy.
Okay, amazing.
I said, you're my marketing strategist for my wedding photography business. Build me a content strategy for Instagram that hits the 3 main goals for my marketing. Number 1 is attracting my ideal clients. Number 2 is nurturing that audience to kind of pre-sell my work. And number 3 is conversion. Because I've noticed that when I'm just posting just by myself just without a plan, I kind of forget the conversion part of it. Or I'm really focused on reach, but I'm not focused on nurturing.
Yes.
So I wanted to make sure I'm hitting all 3 every week.
Yes.
And then I said, I need to have a content strategy that is built around clarity so that I build demand for my services. I don't want to avoid sales and selling because I need more bookings. Mm-hmm. So I need to incorporate more selling content that converts without it being overtly quote unquote book with me now. I didn't want it to be cheesy.
Yeah.
I need all of this to work with my brand voice, my brand voice is calm, friendly, and quiet. My content needs to answer these 3 questions. Why me? Why now? Why my price point? For my nurture content, I need to have hooks that speak directly to my ideal clients' desires, fears, and pain points. And they need to be good hooks, unhinged. They need to connect the dots from I see you to this is how I solve the problem. I need my brand to repel the wrong clients just as much as I need it to attract the right ones. And then it literally spit me out this beautiful PDF. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And before we move on, maybe I can copy and paste that into a Google Doc so that way people can they don't have to type it out, because I'm already thinking I'm not typing that out.
No, seriously. Yeah.
I'm I need to copy and paste that somehow, so I'll try to create a little doc and I'll put it in the resources in the description so that way people can just
I'll send it to you so that you don't have to listen.
Oh yeah.
And it spit me out the most beautiful PDF that It feels like I would have paid like $200 for this somewhere.
Wait, a PDF?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Like I'm telling you, Claude is amazing.
Okay. I know people have been talking, even my sister talked about it the other day, and I was like, okay, maybe I do need to switch over. I just, right now, not the problem that I have, it's really not that big of a deal. I don't really have that much on ChatGPT, but I have it so organized. Like I have like folders for like my photography business, my education business, the podcast. And so it's all organized, but I just basically just need to export everything and put it into Claude to make sure I like keep all my information. So anyways, that's besides the point. But okay, so the PDF, I'm excited to hear this.
Yes. So it built me a PDF that I can reference anytime I need to post. It has a section all about my content framework with the 3 pillars. And then it breaks it down like in each pillar. So like the attract pillar, the nurture pillar, and the converting pillar.
And sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I just have so many questions. Yes. Did you put in your ideal client yet into it? Or like, did it already kind of know who your ideal client is? Because I think that would be a good thing to put in the doc. So maybe I can even put it in the prompt so that people can like fill that out too. Because I think it's important for it to know who your ideal client is, because just even me and you have like different ideal clients. And so some people might not even be wedding photographers. So I just want to make sure that they put in their ideal client in the prompt, because that will make or break like your content basically. For sure. Or like you're not going to attract the right clients that you want, because I think a lot of the problems that photographers have, they don't even have an ideal client. And so they need to understand that first and then do that. But anyway, so I didn't even know if you answered my question, but did you put your ideal client in, or did it already know?
Claude now has memory, so it's like it already knows about my business, because I've been using it for a while.
Oh, okay.
And even kind of like ChatGPT, like you can go in there and put like your preferences.
Yes, okay.
And so it knows like basically I told it my ideal client, like my brand voice, my values, like everything about me.
Okay.
So whenever I like ask for it to like make me stuff like this, it kind of already knows.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just trying to explain a little bit more to our audience, because I know some people have never used AI or are like scared to use AI, or even sometimes I get scared of talking about AI, but not to sidetrack, sorry Miranda, but I saw a video that was talking about like AI, and you know, there's pros and cons to it. A lot of the cons is like it is using a lot of water, but then you do more research on it, and I realized that like when you're using Netflix, when you're using Hulu, it's using a lot of water. And so a lot of AI has a lot of fear mongering. And there's good reasons for it. I'm not saying that like, yes, let's use up all our water. Like, yes, like I do care about the earth. But also this girl was saying that like all this fear mongering and whatever else is happening, like the bad uses of AI is just going to keep women from having this technology, and it's gonna be bad for us in the end of like not using tools to empower our businesses, to just make more research, like do more research and all these things that AI can do. But if we like, I don't even know how to explain it, but like women will be set back if we don't start using these tools. And I think
because men are.
Exactly.
And I think it's important, like if like, you know, energy conservation is important to you, it's like audit how you are using it.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's like, I don't use AI if I'm going to Google something, I just Google
yes,
it. Yes,
exactly. Yeah,
but for like business purposes, it's like you just need to be strategic about how you use AI.
Yeah,
I think.
Exactly. And so, again, like do your own research, but I feel like we've been using AI, exactly, for businesses. Like there's things that I still am going to Google. There's still things that I'm just going to use on TikTok. Like I don't need AI to answer like really simple questions for me, but it's things like this where it's like, it just kind of like organizes your brain, organizes your business. And I don't want women to be left behind with like this technology, because I feel like that happens happens every decade where it's like women are just like left behind because they're like told not to use this, you know, evil, corrupt thing. And it's just like, but it could better your business. Like you don't have to use it for every single little thing. Like, you don't have to use it to answer any like Google questions or anything. But like with things like this, I think it is really useful. And yeah, I just don't want women to be left behind.
Yeah, because I think Claude also has like a co-working feature, so it's like it's basically like having a assistant.
Yeah,
and that's how I like to use it.
Yes.
So back to the PDF. So it separated all of my content pillars, and under each pillar it gave me like literal format examples of different posts that I can make for each pillar.
Okay.
So like if I wanted to do like a static post, a carousel, a reel, for each pillar, it gives me like examples of like content that I can make.
Ooh, okay.
It also gave me desire-based hooks, because I feel like hooks is like something that I really struggle with, that I can't really.
Well, and sometimes to me it feels cheesy.
Yes. And so it literally gave me desire-based hooks, fear-based hooks, and pain point or identity hooks that I can use for each different content pillar, for each different format of the post. Like, it was insane. Okay. Then it made this whole section about like repelling my clients that aren't for me versus attracting my ideal clients.
Okay.
And it gave me like a list of things to avoid, a list of things to implement.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yes. And then it taught me, or it has a section about how to sell in my brand voice without being cheesy.
Okay.
And then it gave me a weekly structure. So like Monday through Friday, what to post and when. And then the last thing it gave me was like a caption structure. So like the format of my captions, what they need to be to hit all of my goals.
Okay.
Because I feel like it's really easy to just like, here's someone on social media being like, you know, you should structure your captions like this. You should have your hooks like this. Mm-hmm. But they're not like speaking to you in your business specifically. So that is why I've been loving using Claude.
Okay, I love it. Media. Yes. Okay. Yeah, and it's like like you said, you have all this knowledge, and we even had like a marketing episode where we have all this knowledge, but it's really hard to like implement that and be like, am I hitting every single one of these? How should I hit every single one of these? But once you have the information and you have it organized like you have, it's so much easier to create content. It is so much easier when you know all of these things and when it kind of gives you ideas, because it's just kind of like, oh, okay, that's easy. Like it just feels easier to do that.
And I also did the same thing for my family business. So it's like I save the PDFs to my Google Drive. Every time I want to post, I open the PDF. I see what day it is. I see what kind of content I need to make, and then I just make it. And it's so easy.
I love it. No, that's amazing. A few weeks ago, I made like a Google Doc for it. I called it like a content vault, because I had like a lot of like content ideas from like other people that I was like, ooh, this is really nice. Like, I wonder how I can use it in my business. And then I would save it and then never look at it again. But then I started putting them in my content vault. So I have like my ideal clients in there. I have basically just like content ideas, future content that I can do. And so it just has like basically just like a master list of ideas. And so I thought that was going to be really helpful for me. But this also seems like it could be helpful, just like having like a PDF
because you could load for it. You could load that vault into Claude and be like, these are all my ideas. Help me organize.
Yes, exactly.
And give me like a weekly ideas of like what to post when. So
life-changing.
Wow.
That's really, really cool. Wow. Okay. And you already started implementing.
Yeah, I've been this is like my third day to post from the strategy that it gave me. So
Okay. Can we see your last post? Or like what you posted?
Yeah, I posted 2 reels.
Ooh, okay.
Posted a reel on my family session page, and then
your wedding.
Actually, I posted 2 reels from this content strategy.
Ooh, okay.
One of them was attracting content, and one of them was nurture.
Can you give us the example? So what was the attraction? Like, what was the post?
So this is for like trying to get new people, like a first impression post, right?
Okay.
So I've also been using trial reels. Have you tried that?
Ooh, no, I haven't.
So especially for the attracting content, when you're trying to get new eyes.
People. Yes.
I've been using trial reels because it pushes it out to non-followers.
People that don't follow you.
Yes. So for that one, it was like 3-second video of me literally talking to like the father of the bride.
Yes. Okay. I think I just saw that on TikTok today.
And then like some photos. And I think the hook was
when your photographer values your family or something like that,
it was
right?
like when your photographer actually cares about your family.
Yes, that's what it was. Yes.
And then I just had a bunch of candid photos of different family members. But that was kind of like a hook that it gave me. And then that format is very just like, you know, catching someone's attention, basically.
Yeah, well, like the psychology of that is like when a bride or a groom or whoever is getting married sees this post and they're like, oh, I do want a photographer that cares about my family and wants to capture my family and not just me. Mm-hmm. And so they would stop, look at your reel and be like, look at their profile. Oh, they're in Dallas. I'm in Dallas too. Follow. And so that's like the whole purpose of like having a hook like that. I just wanted to kind of explain like how hooks actually work and like why that would be an attraction and not so much like someone's already following you and they're just like looking at your reels.
Right.
This is like capturing their attention and being like, okay, this might be the photographer for me. Let me follow them.
Yeah.
And then the next post would be like a nurturing content where it's like, oh, like, oh my gosh, this really is the photographer for me.
Yes.
So it has steps to where they're like attraction, nurture, and then convert, which is when they inquire, which is really cool.
Yeah. And I think I gained like 4 followers just from that.
Which is amazing.
Reel. So, and this is like the first time I'm trying like trial reels.
Yeah.
So, and I've heard like a lot of good things about it. So I feel like it's going to be something that we should hop on.
Okay. I'm down. Yeah. I'm down to start doing that.
And then also in that hook, it was very like polarizing.
Yes.
Because it's like, this is speaking directly to someone who is like, cares about their family and not about like perfect photos of them being in a magazine.
Yes.
So it's like, the hooks are meant to repel and attract. Basically.
Yes, exactly.
And then for my nurture content reel that I posted today, I was literally just talking about a question that someone had on a consultation call and how I answered it.
Nice.
So it just kind of gives them, number one, they can hear my voice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And how I talk and my energy. Also, like, I told Claude that my brand voice is very like calm and quiet, and it literally told me like never use trending audios, like only use like really soft, beautiful music.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Like these things we don't think about.
It's all a part of your brand.
Yes.
Like that, like the music, the font, the way you talk, like that is a part of your brand. And so that's why I'm always like, stay on brand.
Yeah.
Like, because all of those things matter, because like if you were, for example, talking like me, I'm always like exclamation point. I'm like a little bit excited and erotic sometimes. Like that wouldn't fit your brand.
Right.
And then when people meet you, they'd be like, what the heck? Like you're nothing like you are online.
Yes.
And you don't want that. You want it to be like how you are in person. So yeah, that's so important. And I wish people knew that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we're talking about it.
Yes. And then the other post that I had done from the strategy was like a converting post, and it was literally just like a headshot, and it was kind of like a reintroduction of who I am, but it was kind of like what's it called, not cold selling or hard selling, but soft selling. Yeah. So like inadvertently like telling them like the next steps in the process.
Yes, who you are, what you're about. Yeah, exactly.
And how they can book with me.
Yes,
stuff like that. So.
Yes, exactly. Oh my gosh,
so I hit all 3 in one week.
Yes, no, it's amazing, because that's really how people get to know you. Yeah. And like when they start following you, the next post would be something like about you or like how the process works and all of that stuff. Because people stalk and they're just like looking through like a lot of photographers, and so they're gonna pick the one that they trust the most, and it's gonna be the one that like really affirms what they want for their wedding day, for their family session, whatever it is. And the more you talk about it, the better, because people aren't gonna just like I don't know. They might inquire with one post, but it really takes some people quite a bit to trust someone to spend that kind of money. And so, yeah, doing those posts, it's like going to be so helpful. Mm-hmm. Wow. I love it. Yeah. That's amazing. Okay. I'm going to have to, I think that's what I might do today is like switch everything over to Claude and see how that works. Yeah. Okay. Amazing. Oh my gosh. I love it. Well, kind of speaking about like sales process and everything, I think we can dive into kind of like consult calls and sales psychology with that, because I have a lot that I put in my notes to talk about, because I just switched the way I do consult calls. Kind of like it's kind of the same, but kind of not. Like I really needed to do some research on like how the sales psychology works and like what I'm kind of doing wrong and like what I could switch. So yeah, we can get into that.
I'm so excited.
I know, I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited too. It's going to be good. It's going to be good because I feel like consult calls are really important, and I feel like a lot of the time photographers don't lead the call. So we need to start leading. Yes. But let me open my laptop and we'll get into it. Okay, so I'm really excited for this because I feel like this is something that I changed recently that I think will make a huge difference in my business. And it's basically my sales process, specifically with consult calls, because I used to get off calls just feeling like that went really, really well, but I didn't really know what I did. Like I didn't really have like a process almost. It was just kind of like, okay, here's some questions. Do you have any questions for me? That was kind of it. And I felt like I was being like personable, but I still at the end was just kind of feeling like, did I do everything right? Like, I don't know. It just like, I didn't have like a structured process, and I didn't know whether the client was reaching out to other photographers or if it was like a budget thing that they were like kind of like being like, oh, I don't know if I can afford you, if I can. Like, I just didn't know where they were at, basically. Yeah. And that's kind of like hard when you don't know those things, because then you don't know why they ghosted you, why they didn't book, whatever the reasoning is. And so we had like the connection, the vibe was good, they liked my work, and then they just wouldn't book. And so that's where I was like, okay, what is going on? Like, I wouldn't know because of the sales call and the way I was running the sales call. Yeah. And I realized I really wasn't doing anything wrong. I just wasn't like leading the call. And I think we just need to lead more, and it just comes from me not wanting to be pushy, not wanting to be like, you know, a salesman, and just being too like brosy and just being, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like I wanted to have a connection with the client. I didn't want it to feel like a sales call, but that shouldn't mean that I should not lead the sales call. Right. Like, it should not be the client you shouldn't ask the client, like, do you have any questions? Like, they shouldn't be the ones leading the sales call at all, because they don't know what they're doing. This is the first time they're booking like a photographer, usually for like a wedding or for a family session or whatever it is that you're doing a sales call for. And so, yeah, I honestly think that photographers don't have a sales problem. They have more of like a clarity leadership problem. They're too afraid of being pushy, and they're not clearly guiding the next steps. And that's what's costing the booking, because it's just like, you're just not being clear of what the next steps are, what you do in the process. You're just kind of like, hey, I'm here. I feel like we're a good fit. And that's it. Like,
yeah, it's so open-ended.
Yes, exactly. It doesn't like guide them to a clear direction of who you are, what you do, and all of those things. So I want to start off with like the call structure and the flow and the psychology of like why I started structuring my calls this way. So the first thing I changed was like the actual call structure, because before my calls felt really natural, but they also kind of felt like all over the place, which is crazy that I'm just now realizing these things. But I never thought my sales calls were the issue. But then I like started like kind of like looking at it again and being like, no, I think it is like an issue for me. And like I I was just going wherever the conversation went. And what I realized is that it felt good in the moment, but it actually wasn't helping them make a decision. And so it was just kind of like a call.
Like a vibe
just to
check.
Be a call.
Yeah,
exactly. A vibe check.
It's like, what's your personality?
Yeah.
Cool. I like it. Now what?
Yeah. Exactly. So now my consults follow a flow. We start with connection, making sure they feel comfortable, like I'm talking to a real person. Then I move into their story and their vision for the wedding because I want to understand what they actually care about. Then I ask why they reached out to me specifically, because they'll literally tell you what they already like about you.
Yeah.
And that's huge. And then I go into my approach, and this isn't like a resume, but like this is how I show up on the wedding day. Then we go into logistics, but I keep it really simple and not overwhelming. And then I close the call with direction. And this is where it clicked for me, I think, because there's actually a lot of psychology behind why things work the way they work. And when a call is unstructured, your client is doing a lot of the mental work without realizing it. They're trying to organize everything you're saying, figure out what matters, thinking of questions. They should not be thinking of questions to ask you. Like this isn't a Q&A.
Yeah.
And so that creates a lot of mental fatigue for them. And so when people feel overwhelmed, they don't make decisions. And you want them to make a decision. And I think that's where I was going really, really wrong. And when they don't make decisions, they delay the decision. So the structure actually makes it easier for them to say yes. And even the order matters. Like when you start the connection, they feel safe. When you ask about them, they feel seen. And when you ask why they chose you, they remind themselves why they liked you specifically. So by the time you talk about your approach, they're already bought in emotionally because they already know who you are. You're reiterating why you're the perfect fit for them. And the biggest thing, that question, why did you reach out to me? That's them selling themselves on you. And people trust their own reasonings way more than anything you say. So basically, they're telling you exactly how they want their wedding to feel. And you're basically just reiterating like, yep, that's how I approach weddings.
Yes.
And it's such a simple little switch, but it's just like, oh my gosh, this makes so much more sense than what I was trying to do. Like I wasn't thinking about like the psychology of it. I was just kind of like going in for the vibes, like you said earlier, which the vibes sometimes don't work. Sometimes it'll book you, and most of the time it won't, which is what led to me being confused after the call when they wouldn't book, because I like didn't know if it was pricing. I didn't know if it was because of my approach. I didn't know if it was because of this reason. So now after a call, I have a pretty good idea of why they would or would not book, or what they're, what they're looking for basically. So structure doesn't make your consult calls robotic. It makes it feel clear, intentional, and honestly just more premium because you're leading their call. You're not being like, okay, have any questions? And they're like, I don't know, you tell me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like
I don't have any questions. I don't know this is my first time booking a wedding photographer. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So you don't want them to feel that way. You don't want them to feel overwhelmed. You want them to feel like you have taken care of every single question they might have had. And so I think that's where people go wrong. And then the last episode we had, I was talking about the yes ladder. And so another thing I changed is how I handled the actual conversation, because I don't want it to feel super salesy with a yes ladder, but I do let them tell me what they want. And so they'll say things like, I want it to feel relaxed. I don't want to feel awkward. I want candid moments. And instead of jumping into a pitch, I'll just say, that's exactly how I approach weddings. So they're basically just telling you exactly what they want from their wedding. And you're being like, yeah, that's exactly how I approach it. And they shouldn't be on the call if they say something that's like, that you usually wouldn't do. because that should already be on your Instagram. That should already be on your website. Like, they should already kind of go in knowing exactly how you work. You're just reiterating like, yep, that's exactly how I approach weddings, and here's how I do it. And that sounds really simple, but there's a reason why that works so well. So when people say something out loud, they start to believe it even more. So when they are describing what they want, they're setting their own standard. And then when you align with it, it feels like a confirmation, not persuasion. So it doesn't feel like you're like being like salesing. You're being like, well, this is how I approach wedding. This is how I would do it. You're just like reinforcing their belief already.
Right.
And that feels good to them. And also, they're not just describing a wedding, they're describing who they are. Like, we're the kind of couple that wants this experience. So now you're aligning with their identity and not just selling a service. And that's way more powerful. And also, the less you talk, the more they invest into what they're saying, because they're participating in a decision instead of just listening to you talk.
That is where I think like most people go wrong, is they're like, okay, I'm getting on a consult call. This is how I have to sell. This is like my time to sell. And they have this whole spiel about who they are, what they do. This is all the services I provide. This is what you're going to get. And it's like, then your potential client is just sitting there listening to you.
Yes.
Once you flip it to where it's like, you ask them to talk and you're the one listening to them, then they feel seen and heard, and like that's all anyone ever wants. Like, we're humans.
Exactly.
And it's like, again, like what you were saying, like, this isn't the time to sell. You've already sold through all your marketing. This is just like you listening to them what they want, and again, reaffirming that you're the good choice. It's just like mirroring back to them what they just said.
Exactly. And exactly. And that's a sales process, and it doesn't have to be icky like that. No. Like, to me, this feels more freeing than any other sales advice I've ever gotten, where it's just like, oh yeah, of course they like my approach. They inquired with me. I just want to reiterate what they're already saying. And like, I'm the one asking them questions so that they don't have to ask me like, how do you approach weddings? How are you on this day? Because honestly, more than likely, they don't have these questions, like, they don't have them like listed out. Like, anytime I've ever been like, do you have any questions? They're like, oh no, like, we don't know what we're doing. Like, and so then I'm like, oh yeah, they don't. Like, I should be leading the call. I should not be asking if they have any questions. Like, it feels like a newbie way to do things with your consult call, because I've done it before. Trust me. That's why I know, like, they usually don't have any questions, because I've asked them if they have any questions. And they usually don't, because they're just like, I don't know. Do you have anything for me? Do you have any questions for me? And so, yeah, you should be leading the call. So like, the bottom line of that is like, people don't trust your pitch. They trust their own words, and you're just aligning with them instead of like trying to pitch and trying to be like, I'm going to be the best of the best. Like, here's why. No, you're just listening and being like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I do on a wedding day. And they're going to trust their own words over just like you trying to like pitch this and overwhelm them with features and what they get and all of this stuff. And it's just like, okay, calm down.
Yeah.
We need like some breather room in there. And so another point, it's like the ending where the bookings are usually lost. And so this is the biggest one, I think, too. This is where I was losing bookings before. I used to end calls like, I'll send everything over. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, let me know. Like, no rush. I used to be very like, la 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 la, just very like go with the flow. And sometimes that just doesn't work, and it sounds nice, but it's actually killing the booking, because now I say, based on everything you've shared, I think we'd be a great fit. Do you want me to send the proposal today so you can secure your date? And that's where the sales psychology matters the most, because if you don't guide them to the next step, people default into doing nothing. Not because they don't like you, but because there's no clear action. They have no idea where to go next. And again, it's like that mental fatigue of like, if they don't know what to do next, they don't care. They're just like, whatever, we're just going to compare to the next photographer of like, who made it easier, basically. Like if it's not the pricing, if it's not like the way that you approach weddings, it's like how easy did you make them? How easy did you make the process for them to book?
Right.
Which it all makes sense, but you don't know until you know.
Yeah.
And also, right after the call is where emotions are the highest. They're excited. They feel connected. They can picture working with you. If you don't anchor that into the next step, that feeling fades. And asking something like, do you want me to send this today? That's a really small yes. But that small yes leads into the bigger yes. And honestly, it just positions you as someone who knows what they're doing and is like clear in what you do. You're leading them. You're not just being like, oh yeah, no rush. Like, take the next few months to think about it. Like, and it's not, I feel like I used to feel like this would be too aggressive of like asking them like, do you want me to send this over today? But it's really not that aggressive. Like it's really just clear.
That's what they want. They got on the call so that
that's
could
what they want.
Book with you.
Yes,
so
exactly.
It's like, we shouldn't shy away from the ending of like, okay, what do we do next?
Yes, exactly. And if you don't guide the decision, they delay the decision, and you don't want that. You want them to be excited and they want to look at everything, and that's when they start to decide. Like if you don't have like a clear direction, that's when they decide on someone else, or they forget about you, or it's just kind of like one of those things where it's like they have no idea what they're doing, so you basically just confuse them in like the next steps. And so I wanted to talk about like being pushy versus being clear, because I feel like I used to be so afraid of being pushy. Like I did not want to come off salesy at all, but business is sales, baby.
Yeah,
we have to. But you don't have to be pushy. You literally just need to be clear. And I think that's the biggest difference of like how to approach a sales call. It's just being clear. You don't have to be pushy. You don't have to be like, you need to book by today and you need to sign the contract today. Like you don't have to be like that. And so what I realized is that pushy and clear are just not the same thing. And that's completely changed how I show up on the calls. When people feel pressured, they pull back, which I've noticed when I'm on sales calls with gyms, with other people. Like I've noticed like, oh, I feel that feeling, and I don't want that feeling with like the couples I book. And that's just human behavior. But when people feel guided, they actually lean into the decision. And when you're vague to avoid being pushy, you actually make people more uncomfortable.
Yes.
Because they have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
And because now they're like, wait, what am I supposed to do? So clarity removes that anxiety, and you can be warm and lead. Mm-hmm. And that's like the biggest thing where I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so right. I can be myself and I can be clear, but that doesn't mean I have to be pushy or salesy or anything. I just need to be a leader, and I need to lead this call and be clear on what comes next, who I am, and asking them the questions as opposed to them asking me random questions that really have like, we can answer those questions later. Like it doesn't need to, we don't need to talk about the timeline. We don't need to talk about like how many pictures or whatever it is. Like we don't need to do that. And clarity isn't pushy. It's just helpful. Mm-hmm. Which I think a lot of people need to realize, me being one of them. And another big shift for me was like how I handle price questions, because what I've been getting a lot is like when someone asks like, do we really need 10 hours? They're not saying you're too expensive. And this is where I think a lot of photographers get it wrong. What they're saying is, help me understand this. Because to them, 10 hours probably seems like a long time. And they're like, well, I don't want to book the 10-hour package because it's this amount of pricing and I don't feel like I need 10 hours. And so they're trying to avoid making the wrong decision. So instead of defending my pricing, I explain how the day would actually flow within those 10 hours. Because if they're telling me like they don't want a stressful day, they want to just kind of like go into each thing like smoothly, they don't want to be like rushed or anything, well, 6 hours of coverage, baby, you're going to be rushed.
Yeah.
And so that's where I go in and explain the process and not the actual pricing of it. It's like, this is how I walk them through what happens, what matters, and what they might not be thinking about, because they're not thinking about the timeline. Because once they can see it, they understand the value. So price objections usually just mean there's a gap in the understanding of it. It's not really necessarily the price. It's like, oh, how is 10 hours going to look on our day, and why it would work for them based on everything that they're telling me. Because sometimes I'm like, okay, yeah, you don't need 10 hours for this elopement. But sometimes it's like, okay, yeah, maybe you just need 8 hours, but you have to explain to them why you're pushing for like the biggest package. It's not because it's like, I want to make as much money as I can. No, there's a reason for these things. Like there's a reason why I'm pushing for this one instead of this other one. It's because like they're telling me they don't want the day to feel stressful. Well, 5 hours of coverage, you're going to feel stressed and you're going to go into each thing and it's going to feel like a photo shoot the entire day. But they don't understand that. So you have to fill that gap of the education. And objections aren't rejection. They're basically just requests for clarity. And I mean, that's the whole premise of this whole thing, is just, you just want to be clear with everything that you're saying. So, and I think this is my second to last point, is like comparison shopping, and which everyone does. I feel like we're always comparing, should I buy this brand? Should I get this brand? Should I go with this photographer? Should I go with this one? And that's normal, but the goal isn't to stop that. The goal is to give them a reason to stop comparing, because when everything feels similar, that's when people are delayed in the process of making a decision. And when something feels aligned, they move faster. And that's why your philosophy matters so much. Your approach matters so much. Your energy matters, because features can be compared. Your packages can be compared with any other photographer, but alignment can't be compared.
Yeah.
And so that's the biggest thing that was like mind blown. I was like, wow, Kim, I'm so glad you did this research, because it's so true. Like whenever I've been like sold to with like gyms or whatever else, like I can feel the alignment and be like, oh my gosh, no, this is what I've been wanting. And I just do it regardless of the price. Like I'm just like, oh, this feels aligned. I'm just going to go with this one. And so that's like the comparison of it all. And then the last thing, your follow-up matters way more than you think as well, because the call is not the only moment that sells. After the call, life happens. We talk about ghosting all the time, where people are always complaining about ghosting, but like I said, life happens. They forget details, they talk to other vendors, they get distracted. So your follow-up should bring them back into that moment, remind them what they said they wanted, reinforce the value, and make this next step really clear. Not, no rush, take your time, because people will take their time forever. And you need direction, not pressure. And I used to be one of those where it's like, take your time, it's fine. Like, no, they're going to take their time. And I'm one of those people. I know I'm one of those people. When you tell me to take my time, I will take my time. And then I just forget about it.
Yeah.
And then there's just like, because there's really no pressure. And sometimes people need a little bit of pressure. And not, again, it's not like being pushy. It's just like, let me know by next week.
Yeah.
And that's like, I feel like that gives them enough time to like figure things out, but also not have them like basically ghost you and then they just like forget about you. And so your follow-up isn't a reminder, it's a second chance to create more clarity. And if you feel like your consult calls, they're going well, but you're not booking, it's probably not your work, it's probably not your pricing. The shift isn't becoming more salesy, it's becoming more clear, because sales shouldn't feel like pressure, it should feel like clarity. And so that's like the whole point I've been trying to make, is like, you just need to be more clear with the call, with the decision making, with what comes afterwards. So yeah, that's all I had with sales calls. But I think just realizing all of this, like a couple weeks ago, I was like, oh my gosh, everything feels so much clearer, even in my brain.
Well, I think like what gives anxiety about a sales call or consultation call is the idea that this is a sales pitch.
Yes.
And like, I think once I shifted in my mindset to like, this isn't the pitch.
Yes.
This is just the
reinforcing
close.
The alignment.
Yeah. It's basically. Like they've already been pitched to through all of my marketing, through my website, through my posts, like everything that I'm about.
Yes, exactly.
So whenever I let go of the pressure on myself to be like, I have to sell them now.
Yes.
And realizing that it's just like, okay, we're both showing up to this already knowing everything. Now it's just like, okay, let me just make sure it's in alignment before I spend, thousands of dollars.
Yes.
And that gave me more confidence to be like, okay, I'm just showing up for alignment. And that whenever you're confident on the call and you're not like feeling like you're in a pressure cooker, they can read that.
Yes.
And it makes you feel like you don't know what you're talking about. And so, yeah, once I like let go of the idea of like, okay, I have to pitch, and it made it very simple. And like you said, a very like simple process that you can follow. It just made everything 10 times better for me.
Yeah.
And it was easier to close because you have a process now, and you don't have anxiety because you're not trying to sell yourself. You've already been sold. They've already reached out to you.
Exactly. They got on the call for a reason. Yeah. Like they know they should know your process a little bit, because I know they're probably talking to a few other photographers, but like I said earlier, it's like the alignment. When they feel like it's right, like they just want a book. Like you shouldn't give them months to try to decide this decision, because then they can find another photographer who's maybe a little bit more aligned.
Yeah.
And so I think that was like my biggest thing too, is just like, oh, take your time, like no pressure. No, we need to give them something.
Yeah.
Because again, I'm one of those people that needs a deadline, and maybe it wasn't the right fit, but I at least need that deadline to decide whether it's a right fit or not.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, just being clear and having clarity just makes things so much easier for your client and also for yourself.
Yeah.
So you're not having to wait like weeks and just feeling like, oh my gosh, like they're taking days and days to decide. You have no idea where they're at in their head, and this just makes it clear of like, I know when they need to reach the decision, whether it's like by the end of the week or whatever your deadline is. And yeah, I just think it makes it easier on everyone. And you want it to feel easy. Like you don't want the sales process to feel like anxiety driven or just like feels hard or anything like that. It just needs to be, I don't know, it just needs to be easy, and it should be easy for the sales call. But is there anything else you wanted to add to that or anything?
Yeah, so I kind of structure my calls in the same structure that you did, but I wanted to give some tips of like what to actually say in each section, because for me it's like I heard like how to structure sales calls for a long time, but I was like, okay, but I'm a very introverted person. Being the leader on a call, that does stress me out. So I had to give myself like actual things to say.
Yes.
So that it made everything easier. And so what I found, like, to start, like, I'm so good like in the middle of a call, but like to start it and to end it.
Yep.
Same thing as like a networking event. Like what's the first thing you say to someone, and how do you say, okay, I gotta go now?
Yep.
So that's what gives me anxiety. So I found that instead of like because I used to get on phone calls and be like, how was your day? Like,
yes.
Oh, like, tell me about you and like how you met and like what do you do for work, and like all the small talk.
Yes.
Which I hated.
Yeah.
And it's just like all that fluff is not needed.
Yeah.
It's not needed for your sales call. So instead of doing all that, I hop on and say, hey, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me. I'll keep it short.
Yes.
But this is what you can expect on the call.
Yep.
And I think leading with like expectations, that's clarity. Like you're saying.
Yes.
And that really like helps them be like, okay, this is how it's going to go. This is the structure that I can look forward to.
Exactly.
And it also gives you like peace of mind. Like, okay, yeah, I do have a structure that I'm following.
Yeah. And I actually just pulled up like my client consult template that I made. And that's exactly what you were saying, where it's like, hi, I'm so excited to finally meet with you both. I want this to feel relaxed and helpful. I'll ask a few questions first, then I'll walk you through how I approach weddings, and then we'll see if it feels aligned. And then I start asking them the questions, because that's like, I'm leading them through the call. I'm telling them exactly what's going to happen. There's no like, oh, where is this going to go? Like, I have no idea. Like, should I be asking questions? Because then they're going to feel overwhelmed on a call that they should not feel overwhelmed on.
It just feels awkward.
Because then also like that energy, they're going to think that energy you're going to bring to the day.
Yes, which is not the case.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
are a strong professional. Like, you've got this.
Exactly. So you're so right about like being clear of like how the call is even going to go.
Yeah. Because I feel like that's just like the first step. And once they know like that there is a structure to it, they're puts like, them at ease.
And almost, yes, exactly. They take a deep breath and like, oh, okay, amazing. Because I bet they've been on calls with other photographers where they're having to ask questions, or they are like, kind of like, I have no idea where this is going. This feels awkward. Like, they didn't lead the call. And so they're kind of like maybe even used to that by the time they get on the call with you. And you're just like, nope, this is how we're going to work. We're going to go through this. Let me ask you some questions first and let's get on to it.
Yes. And also, like, I've noticed, like, when I say that, I watch them and they're like, oh, okay, amazing. Sounds good. Let's do it. You know? And like, it's like, that first like win, if you will.
Exactly.
And then I also wanted to say that something about sales psychology, it's called like, maybe it's the yes ladder that you're talking about, but it's basically just getting them to say yes the whole time.
Yes.
Because that like psychologically puts them at ease and lets them know that it's an aligned purchase. And so like a few simple ways on the first of the call that you can get yeses is to just repeat to them what they put in their contact form. So what I'll do is like, I'll be like, okay, just to make sure I have all of that information that's correct. And I say like, because you never know, like sometimes people put errors in their contact form.
It's so true.
So I'll be like, okay, so your wedding date is this. And then they're like, yes. So that's one yes. Then I'm like, okay, and your venue is this. And they're like, yes. And I'm like, and your planner is this. And they're like, yes. And like that gets them like set up, like just psychologically, they're like, yes, this is good. So that's like another way to like use the yes letter.
Yeah. And also just ensure that everything's good.
Yeah. Because you never know. Like we have instances in the past where we got the wrong wedding date.
Yes. And it's not cute.
No, it's not.
So you got to reiterate.
Yeah. Basically like everything that Kim was saying, but something that has really helped me for closing the call is to, when we're talking about giving the next steps, what I like to include is like the actual booking process, like so that they know like, okay, I have to sign this by this date and then I have to put this retainer. Like sometimes it's nice to just state that so that when they get your proposal, they're not overwhelmed by all this information that you didn't talk about. Or like in the contract, they didn't know that there was going to be like a retainer.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that's nice to just say. And it also gives you confidence, like, yeah, that's how I work and operate. And it gives them confidence, like, okay, yes, I can follow that protocol.
And they know what to expect. Yeah. And that's also, you can also reiterate that in the follow-up email.
Yes, for sure.
Basically. So that way it's literally so clear that they don't have to do mental gymnastics. No. And it's just like, boom, boom, boom. They know what to do. Yeah. And that's how sometimes I get, contracts signed within that day.
Yes.
So it just, because again, clarity just makes things so much easier.
Yes. And I'll also tell them about like communication expectations and like what they can expect from me moving forward, because I feel like they're dealing with like 50 other vendors who all have their own processes and communication and office hours and all this kind of stuff. So I just always like to say like, moving forward, if you do book, like this is what our time together would look like. I'm reaching out 3 months before or for your engagement session or whatever, just so that they know that they can always contact me whenever they want, but I'm not going to be in their inbox every week.
Yes.
And that gives them a lot of like, okay, thank you. Because I am stressed out dealing with all these vendors.
Yeah. So. And they do have a lot of vendors. Yes. Like people, I feel like photographers just forget that they don't have to talk to like their caterers, their DJ, their planner, their like there's like the rentals. Like they have so many vendors, guys. Like this is why I get so annoyed when people talk about ghosting and how they're like, oh my gosh, we're people and like stop ghosting us, blah, blah, blah. I get so annoyed because it's like life happens, guys. Like it really isn't that big of a deal. And we have clarity through the process. You wouldn't feel so insecure about someone ghosting you.
Right.
So yeah, I agree with all of what you said. Obviously. I'm like, actually,
Miranda, you're wrong.
Oh, that's so funny. But yeah, I think that's all I have with consult calls. Yeah, I'm glad we had this.
I'm glad we had this talk because I feel like, it's so gatekept, like how people actually deal with consults and stuff, and getting on the phone and trying to. It's like one of the biggest parts of the job, and no one talks about it.
Yeah, and just realizing that there's so much more than just being like, tell me about your day and your connection and all that. And that's good. Like I still talk about like, how did you guys meet? Or like, how do you want your wedding to look like? Or whatever it is. Like I still ask those questions, but it's like, I do it in a specific order. So that way they understand and know what this call is about, basically. So yeah, it just gives you clarity and confidence. That's the biggest thing, is like going into the call confident about what you're about to get into, and like having a client consult template so I can kind of look at what I'm doing too, because I feel more confident when I have that template instead of just kind of like, I'm really good at I'm really good at just like rambling, and sometimes we can't ramble on these calls. Like I need to just go into it one question after the other and then explain my approach and then close the call. Like I really do need that structure, and so I definitely think that the template has helped me realizing like how the psychology works with clients, and like how to sell my services without feeling salesy, pushy, or just like misguided in anything. So yeah, I'm glad we were able to talk about this, and I hope this helped you guys and how you are going to approach your client calls and everything like that. So thanks for tuning in with us today. Hopefully we'll have more sales approaches and sales psychology with other things. This is just what I've been working on recently, and I thought that it would be a good time to talk about it since it's so fresh on my mind. But yeah, thanks for tuning in to another week with us, and we will see you guys next week. Love ya.